Nobel Peace Prize. I am a black man, you are white. You can sit anywhere on a bus, go into any coffee shop, buy shoes at the front of the shoe shop, and check out at the grocery first. Among other things, you will not allow your children to play with mine, and if I look at a white woman, I could be hanged from a tree. The blatant unfairness of these facts propelled Martin Luther King Jr. as an outspoken and prominent civil rights leader in the 1950s America. His raising in the racial South awarded him first-hand experience to these unspeakable atrocities. As an educated adult, he desired to turn the world upside down with his dream speech. Approximately 5 years after the freedom-inspired speech, he was murdered. Fortunately, on January 15th, 1929, Martin Luther King Jr., who was a black man, was born. At an early age, his beloved mother forced him and his 2 siblings to learn the classical piano. The Kings resided in sweltering Atlanta, Georgia. His older sister, Christine, was born in the same meager room. They had awesome friends, which were white. One day, Martin's friends could not play with him anymore. Their ignorant mother yelled, "We're white and you're colored." Flustered Martin never witnessed them again. When him and his sister arrived home, they questioned their mother. "Why can't we play with them anymore?" When their worried mother explained, Martin lashed out, "I'm going to turn this world upside down." Martin did not like this. He was furious. He was disappointed. He believed the skin color should not matter, but the content of their character. Martin rapidly graduated high school at the age of 16 in 1945, Morehouse College in 1948, and seminary school in 1951. Martin Luther King arrived at the Willard Hotel from Atlanta, Georgia, the day before he was to present his thought-provoking speech. He stayed up all night making corrections on his now 17-minute I Have Dreams speech. When Martin was giving his speech on August 28, 1963, other civil rights leaders like Roy Wilkins, James Farmers, Whitney Young, and Philip Randolph also delivered speeches. The March On and King's speech helped put civil rights at the top of the government's agenda when reforming the Civil Rights Act of 1964. After President John F. Kennedy was assassinated, Martin predicted to his wife, "This is what's going to happen to me also." James Earl Ray, is the man who killed Martin Luther King Jr. on Thursday, April 4th, 1968. He was rushed to the St. Joseph's Hospital, and at 7:05 p.m. in Memphis, Tennessee, he died. He left behind 2 sons and 2 daughters, Yolanda King, Dexter Scott King, Martin Luther King III, and Bernice King, and his wife, Coretta Scott King. He was 39 years young. Luckily, James Earl Ray was caught a few months later and put in prison for 99 years. Martin was such an influential figure in the civil rights movement that 20 years later, in 1983, President Ronald Reagan signed a bill creating a federal holiday to honor Reverend King, which was not observed until January 20th, 1986. Negative events in his childhood shaped Martin Luther King Jr. into the man we read about today, the man we admire, the man who inspired, the man we revere. Because of his prominent speech in 1963, in 1964, Martin, as the youngest recipient to date, was awarded one of the most honorable prizes in the world, the Nobel Peace Prize. nonviolence. How different would racial tensions be in America today if Reverend King were still alive? Would he still be able to sway opinion as he did in the 1960s? His murder kept us from knowing. Reverend King's speech was the most significant civil rights speech because it was the cornerstone that generated hope in the colored community. The racial divide has narrowed notably since Martin Luther King Jr. was living. It is mostly attributed to him and his dedication to reverse prejudice and racism in America.
In the speech's most famous passage, in which he departed from his prepared text, at the prompting of a lady who shouted behind him, "Tell them about the dream," King said,
I say to you, my friends, so even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day the nation will rise up and live out of the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering in the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, one day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today.